Your Holley's float level could be affecting how well your entire carburetor runs. And no, setting the floats isn't just an initial one-time adjustment. You need to make sure that this is part of your tuning process. So in this video, I'll show you exactly where the fuel level needs to be and how to set it correctly. Let's go. I'm going to give you a ton of different tips in this video, so make sure you watch it all the way to the end because I'm going to show you everything that I know about setting these floats and how to make it part of the tuning process and why you need to make it part of your tuning process. So let's talk about exactly where that level needs to be set at, because I think it gets a little confusing sometimes with some folks. So I want to make that pretty clear as we get started here. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. But one thing to keep in mind is typically that when your floats are set too high, a richer condition is very probable. Why? Because the fuel pushes through the system much easier. And when that happens, you tend to get a little bit more richer condition. Same with if the float's setting and the fuel level is too low, you can get a little bit of a leaner condition. So almost always when I look at idle, off idle, a little bit of light cruise RPM on a Holley carburetor, I very rarely go to a jet first or take a look at the power valve. Sometimes I'll just make a very simple float level adjustment, see if it cures it. This one seems to be where people get the most confused. So let's talk about it right up front, because we're going to be setting level and we need to know where that fuel level is. I've seen a lot of comments online, which are kind of frustrating, where some people say, nope, you have to set this so it's at the very bottom of the sight glass on a sight glass style carburetor. Great design, absolutely love these. That is incorrect. I get folks that go, you have to set it midway in the glass. You can't set it anywhere else. That's exactly where it needs to be. Is that correct? Well, let's take a look at a different style of bowl, because I think it'll make this a little bit clearer. This is a float bowl off of a carburetor that uses a sight plug, not a glass, and they're cast differently than that. Now, they'll both fit up against the metering block the same way. They're the same physical dimension. All of that's the same, but where that location is different, and that's what I'm going to show you today. I try to show this on video. If I can't, I will get a good image of it. But when you set this type of carburetor with this type of plug, you set the fuel level so it's at the very bottom of the plug. So when you pull the plug out of it, rock the car a little bit of fuel is supposed to dribble out. That's exactly where you want, right at that line. So I think that's what gets most people confused on the sight plug or on the sight glasses. I think they think that it's okay, well, that means it has to be there as well too. Let me show you something here. I've got these two bowls bolted together so they'll be a little more stable, and I'm going to try to show this to you. If it doesn't show up, I'll overlay a picture of it, get a good look at it. But we're looking at the bottom of this sight plug and where it references on the glass. But essentially, what that tells us is to match the correct float level that we've used for decades with that plug on the sight glass, it needs to be halfway. Now, you can look at what the manufacturer says, what Holley says for the type of carburetor. Sometimes I think I've seen it say that float level needs to be at the mid glass there, but that should hopefully give you a good visual of where that actually needs to be. So it's a good starting point. Again, we go back to what happens with when you're tuning, and if you run into a rich or lean condition. Unfortunately, I've seen people make that tuning adjustment and say, okay, well, man, it's a little lean here. I need to add more fuel, or well, maybe it's a little too rich and I need to take some away. And then they start monkeying with jetting or the power valve, whatever. Not a bad strategy, but always start with the float. And I know that isn't what the common thought process is that most people go through when they go through the tuning process, but verify the float level first before you make those tuning adjustments, and it'll make that process go so much easier. Before this goes on the engine, the best thing to do is to set the floats dry on a bench before you ever put it on. And there's a couple reasons why. One little tip that I will give you, this is basically a brand new 650 double pumper Holley. I think we ran it one time for a video maybe a year ago, and it's sat ever since then. Gaskets. That gasket is completely falling apart. We're talking about that again here in just a quick second. But I would highly suggest, if you want a good tip, go ahead and buy a rebuild kit before you take even a brand new carburetor apart. That way, if these gaskets are boogered up from the factory, you can at least get a good gasket in there, make sure it doesn't leak, and hopefully you don't run into any problems. But these the newer Holleys, for whatever reason, have a serious edge on here, and they always cut these blue gaskets. I run a red gasket. Typically, it's a little bit more higher quality, thicker gasket, tends to last a little bit longer. But these newer bowls tend to cut a little bit. Now you've got a lock nut, which is this one on top, screw that locks the whole assembly together. Then this nut is the adjusting nut. Before you make any adjustments with that, go ahead and make sure that that's broken free. Reason being is you don't want that paper gasket that's underneath there to tear, break, come apart, whatever, and it's very common for that to happen. So if this one's stuck to it, and it's fairly hard, but it's pliable enough that it'll work. But it's always a good idea just to make sure that when you break that lock nut loose and before you start hitting the adjuster, just go ahead and make sure that the gasket's broken loose, the nut's broken loose, and then when you make that initial adjustment, it doesn't tear your gasket and cause a leak. It's also always good to check the needle and seat assembly. Now you've got the needle in here, moves up and down. This O-ring that's on here very frequently can get boogered up. They tend to get a little compressed after being in there for a while. If you've taken this in and out, or heck, even sometimes on assembly, that O-ring can get cut, twisted, whatever the case may be, and it's the only thing that is sealing up that needle and seat from leaking. So be very careful of that. It's a good idea to inspect it, make sure it moves on there freely, and it should be good to go. Let's go ahead and assemble this. Needle goes in, screws in, and then gasket goes on your adjustment nut, and it goes on there one way, it's slotted. That's what makes your adjustment. Before we put the lock nut on there, we can go ahead and set this dry. Now, when you turn this clockwise, okay, it will lower the float. When you go counterclockwise, it will raise the float. So as we're looking to drop this down, tell you the best way to do this if you're doing it without any measuring device, tools, whatever. What I will do is take a look at the top of the bowl here. Look at it so it's, when you're looking down on it, that it's flat. You're not seeing depth in it. Look at it very flat. Look at the very top of the float here. What you want to see is the very bottom. Here's the bottom of the screw. When you're looking at that bowl and you have the top of it flat and you're looking down in there, you want this top part of the float to just be along that bottom edge of the screw. Top as you're looking at it from this angle, but it's actually the bottom side of it. What that will do is that will install the float lower than it actually needs to be. Now, why do I do that? You go to assemble this on the vehicle. If the float is set too high and you need to lower it, it's not like you can make that adjustment on here and all of a sudden it's going to lower down. It has to, at idle, consume that fuel before the float will drop down, so you'll know that that adjustment you made was what it needed. So if you set the float low and then you just raise it, what that does is you will be able to watch the float level or the fuel level come up, and then you will know when to stop. If you have to drop it, engine has to use it. When you're raising it, it just will continue to raise as you need it. So I always set these low when you're doing the initial adjustment. Another little trick that my dad used to do is just to make sure, he would take a 7/16 drill bit and just try to slide it in there. He wanted enough room between the bit and the float as the bit is on the ceiling of the bowl here, just so he could slide it underneath there. That way he knew that it was low enough that when carb went on the engine, fired up, you were low and you were raising up the fuel level. So little trick, 7/16 drill bit works pretty well. Another little tip before you put these back on, just go ahead and lock the lock screw down. That way when you go to fire this up, you won't have a lot of fuel coming out of here. We'll talk about that when we go out and install it on the engine and do the final adjustment. But just another way to keep you a little protected and keep a lot of fuel from flying all over the place. One last little one. After you get it assembled, before you assemble it, just go ahead and make sure the float operates freely. These tend to bind up a little bit, especially if you've had a carburetor that's backfired. A lot of times these floats can get a little bit boogered up. Even these nitro fill ones still have a very weak connection between all of it, and it can bend pretty easy. It can get twisted, distorted, out of shape. So just make sure it operates freely, and that way when you go to put it on the engine, you've got a good operating float assembly. Okay, the dry setup is all done. Everything's hooked up. Let me get this out onto the truck. Everything is hooked up to it, and then we will do the wet adjustment on setting the floats. Just got her all hooked up, did the initial startup, let her sit in idle for a few seconds. You can see where the float or the fuel level is, and when we set those floats, we deliberately set them low. That was the result that we got based on how I set these up. Now, what that gives you is the opportunity now to raise it, and as you raise the level with the needle and the adjustment, what that will do is you can watch that rise up till you get it to where you want it. Then you can lock it down and you're done. So it's just a quicker way of doing it when you don't have to, if you set it too high and you try to make the adjustment, you have no idea how it took initially, because you have to wait for the fuel level to drop, recover, stabilize, and I don't know, it's just a waste of time. So anyway, hopefully you can see both those. I'll get some really good close-ups of both those sight windows so you can see where we're at. And now we'll go ahead and fire this up, and we will set both of the float levels for this carburetor. One quick little thing here too. I always, and have done this for 40 years, with a Sharpie, write down what jet that I have in there, what power valve size. On the rear, we're just running a 70 jet, no power valve. But as soon as you, under pressure, crack these open, you will leak fuel on there. It'll wipe that off. So go ahead and record that information somewhere on paper so you can keep track of it. But yeah, this will be wiped off there pretty easily. Alright, we are all warmed up. Remember, this is going to leak, so just be prepared for it. Right there. And we are just a little high. Not exactly sure. Yeah, just a touch too high, but it'll give us at least a good start on it, and I can always adjust that down just a little bit. But hopefully you saw that fuel come out of there. Again, don't be alarmed by it. Very common. It's just going to spray fuel everywhere. As long as you've got some way to catch it all, you're in good shape. So again, our numbers are completely wiped off there. That's really all there is to it. Again, you just have to be safe when you have the engine running like that. And again, I'm on a mechanical pump here. When I switch back over to the electric pump that we have put in tank in the back of the truck, it'll be a little bit different, because all you got to do at that point is go key on. You're still going to have leaking from the needle and seats when you release the lock screw and remove all of that sealing that's happening on there. But the good news is, without the engine running, it's the same process. This engine isn't that bad, but if you've got something with a big, wide LSA, you've got a good, healthy duration on it, and it's kind of a rough running engine, then it's hard to get a good view on the sight level or the fuel level in there, because it tends to shake around and it will violently shake in there. That's why the electric pump makes it so much easier to set these, because you don't have to have that, you don't have that vibration. Does it affect the engine when it's running and driving? If you have an electric pump, you set the level with it and then go drive it? Nah, not really. You're just trying to make sure that the pump is feeding the bowls exactly how much you want it to see. Hey, do me a favor, if you like that video, if you got something out of it, it helped you figure out how to set the floats on your carburetor, give me a thumbs up, please, so I know I did a good job. It makes me feel happy when you do that. If you got any questions on this one, leave them down below. Happy to help you. I hope all those tips helped you. There was a lot of them, and again, it's not a complicated process, but really there's a lot of little details in there, and just to cure some of that confusion that's out there on actual level on the sight glass carburetor is really the big point of what I wanted to make here today, so you had that information and you knew the reason why you need to set it that way and not at the bottom of the glass like some folks say you have to. Please leave your comments down below. Always happy to get them, and we will catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you.